Welcome to the show, everyone. Let's begin, as always, by looking at the latest cases of coronavirus. As of today, the new cases were confirmed over 13,000 cases. That's just for today. We're over 13,000 cases. Just like that. Confirmed cases, 13,552 cases. None of you recovered. Over 227 deaths. I beg you right now, please, wear your mask. It is a very, very big deal to wear these. It's to protect your health, my health, and the health of everyone around. If you're going to go shopping, if you're going to go out somewhere, if you're going to go out for a special date, you need to have these on. Stay 6 feet apart and have no more than 10 people. Just try to remember that next time. Please, for the love of God, I beg you, wear a mask. It is a very, very serious issue here. I don't want to have to walk around town and see no one here with masks. Because this is a very, very serious issue here. On top of that, let's deal with weddings here. I mean, I understand, like, during this time, y'all want to go get married and stuff with this pandemic, but with this pandemic here, my brother is getting married in like a few weeks in another city. But with the big deal is that the number of cases, in fact, I did some research tonight. What I found was, like, as of 2 days ago, there was, the numbers were rising in Mico, Texas. 8,000. That is like 5,000. That's like 5,000, over 5,000 confirmed cases. And what kind of wedding, I mean, y'all might be thinking, like, what kind of wedding can we do? Here's an idea. Let's do a virtual wedding. That way everyone can see it for themselves. Like, do a virtual wedding here in Corpus. It's no big deal. Now unless the police department where they're at can put a stop to this. There needs to be a separate place. You cannot get married during all these times. I mean, the numbers have risen. You need to hold off the wedding until the numbers have reduced. If the numbers reduced, then you can hold the wedding. Two options: just wait until the numbers have reduced, or do a virtual wedding here in Corpus. It's a big issue here. It's a good idea here to do a virtual wedding, but not in another state. They will crack down on this. And if you're gonna go one of these weddings, make sure it's more than 10 people. If you're gonna invite people, make sure it's no more than 10 people. Just try to understand that next time so that you don't be caught in a situation here where we don't have to. Get COVID from another state. It's not me, it's the state of Texas. This is not me talking, this is the state of Texas. If Governor Greg Abbott issues a mask order, you need to wear masks, period. No buts. Otherwise, you'll pay fines and include some jail time. Some community service. The big issue here is that if you want to do these weddings, do it virtually. We don't need to have a lot of these weddings happening in the middle of this pandemic. It is a big deal here. I stress this to you right now. Wear masks at all times. If you don't like to wear a mask, tough luck. If your glasses get fogged up because of this, big deal. Tough it out. Work through it. I don't care. Wear a mask. I beg you right now. Wear a mask when you go to work, when you go outside, when you go do your errands, go exercise, go on the bus, etc. You must wear a mask at all times. And I'm dead fucking serious. Please, for the love of God, for our health, your health, please wear a mask. It is a big deal. Well, still ahead. Is homeschooling another option for all children because of this pandemic? Don't you have to pay for homeschooling? Well, yes, you do. But you still have to pay for online schooling too. What can you do to... What are some tips that you can do? That's later. But next, the most important thing ever in PE is dressing out. What can be done about this and what can coaches do? Well, we can... More on that when we continue. Up front tonight, dressing out at PE. I gotta tell you this, guys. I mean, for years, when I went to school, you had to dress out at PE. If you didn't dress out, you would get points taken away, period. No ifs, ands, buts, or excuses. That's why when I was in school, if you didn't dress out for PE, you'd get points taken off. I'm going to tell you right now tonight, let's tell you some of the things that are acceptable. Things that are acceptable are a t-shirt, shorts, shoes, closed-toed shoes. Not acceptable are pants, sweatpants, pajamas, open-toed shoes, high heels, flip-flops, slippers. Not acceptable. Cowboy boots are also unacceptable too. If you don't have a good pair of shorts for PE, you're going to fail your PE class. If you're embarrassed about your white legs or about your legs or some sort, get some lotion. That will help. If you can't find a good pair of shorts, go down to Walmart, go to our academy, find something with a good pair of shorts. Do not wear swimsuits. Those are just unacceptable. As a matter of fact, if you want to get some good shorts, I recommend good shorts. Like these. These will be the best pair of shorts I can ever find. And it'd be perfect. And real good. Above the knee shorts, I would recommend these kind of shorts. These shorts are really good. Cargo shorts. A good choice. That's what I would recommend. A good pair of shorts can mean a good grade in your class. What about shoes? Tennis shoes, not slip shoes. That could be okay. That's okay. As long as you find a good pair of shoes. Shirts. Like these, like this. A good t-shirt would be a good grade for you when you pass PE class. Because when the first time because if it's going to be your first time doing PE, as a freshman, let me tell you, if you're a freshman and you haven't taken PE, they mandate that you take 1 year of PE, just 1 year, just one credit in your PE class. That goes for your PE classes or your ROTC classes. Now ROTC is different. They make you wear uniforms. What I learned in my freshman year was if you didn't wear a uniform, you did not get your PE credit. The difference is that if you do your regular PE classes, they can get your credit for dressing out. That way you can get a good grade in your PE. And you know that's a sophomore year. I thought I was going to get a PE credit from freshman year, but I was wrong. So that's where I got to am today. Then in my junior year, I took one semester of PE and still learned the basics. You need to dress out every day. Part of your grade. If you didn't dress out every day, then parents will be called. You'll be sent down to the principal's office with referrals. And the parents will be really concerned. They'd be like, why isn't he dressing out in PE? And you say, well, because I'm embarrassed on my legs, I don't like to wear shorts, yada yada yada. But still, it doesn't matter. The best thing you can do right now is try at least to wear a good pair of shorts so that you can pass your PE classes with flying colors as I did. Take it from a man who went to school several times, never skipped school, and always knew the basics. Now, as for days when you can wash them, well, I recommend Friday. Every weekend, so often when you're doing your laundry. Not on a certain weekday, because if you forget your PE clothes, then what's going to happen is you're going to get marked down. So I recommend you do it at least at the end of the school day, like on a Friday or during the weekend. That's a good choice to do when you're doing your laundry. That's what I recommend. That way, you can be a bright student, a good PE student, a good motivational speaker for your PE class, so that this doesn't happen again. Next on the program, do you homeschool your kid? Did you let your kids choose which type of education you want to get? Well, as of right now, people are choosing to homeschool their kids, but there's two types. We'll tell you about that when we come back. Think about this next topic, parents. Your children want to get the best education they can get. So, 3 options. Public school, a private school, a charter school, homeschooling, online school. Those are just 5 options. Just 5 options. But what if during this pandemic, you decide you don't want to send your child into public school, yet your decision wants to put your child in homeschool. That's what many homeschool parents are doing. They're quitting their jobs and deciding to homeschool their kids. I wouldn't recommend parents quitting their jobs if I would not recommend this happening to all parents quitting their jobs and schooling their kids, but is it really safe for kids to go back to school with the pandemic? Well, I would figure it is because, first of all, there's several options. I mean, charter schools, these are several options here, but what can parents do? Now there's a program called HUT, Homeschoolers Unlimited Texas. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. All right. So now, if you want to avoid truancy, you have to just do what Chelsea Torres said. If you want to see the full report, we'll put that link in the description below. I'll have an announcement for a new website a bit later on. But how can homeschooling really affect parents? The answer is homeschooled adults were more likely to have undergraduate degrees and equally likely to have graduate degrees. The proportion of homeschooled adults with a secondary education as their highest achievement date was much greater with the comparable population, and far fewer had not completed the secondary school. This is the article from, but what is the negative effects of homeschooling? The negative, this is the disadvantages. I mean, it's time. I mean, if parents are going to say, I'm going to quit my job and homeschool my kids. Well, stop right there. Ask your boss if you can work part-time and then do full-time homeschooling your children. That way, you have a lot more time on your hands. It may be a half or a third of your day, but it's probably with your kids. The third of your time you can be with your kids. Half of the time working a part-time job, and most of the time, you can sleep or do whatever you want or have a day off. Work some days, and then when the time is right, and possibly when the time is right, you could be the best homeschooling teacher you can be as a parent. And the cost. Yes, basically it's costly. I mean, homeschooling can be a little bit pricey here. I mean, if your child says, I'm going to do homeschooling to public school, that's your option. Don't be taking out a loan in the house and then using that time to educate your kids through homeschool because they want to be a big YouTuber or whatever. Stop right there. I'll tell you right now. Don't listen to your kids say they want to drop out of school because of a big YouTube job and stuff. YouTube's not going to get you education. The videos may do, but it's not going to help you get an education. If it's fun, by the way. Socialization. I mean, socialization, life facilities, patience, motivation. The negative effects of these that's not motivating. Parents, if you're going to be homeschooling your kids, you might not have the best motivation ever. But don't listen to your kids when they say, I'm going to drop out of school and become a famous YouTuber. That can lead to truancy. Like, if you're going to decide to homeschool your kid and drop him out of public school, just do it in advance. That way, truancy won't happen. I deal with truancy a lot in the show. So don't let that happen when I do the show. Do a lot of the shows. How many hours a day can you be homeschooling? 2 to 3 hours of formal, no requirements. Just if you decide to homeschool, just do it like 2 to 3 hours a day. And how long is the homeschooling year? 36 weeks. But your homeschooling cannot take away from your job. It's the big issue here. If you want to see part 1 and part 2 of Justice Torres' report, we'll put that link in the description for you below. Coming up here in the show, Governor Greg Abbott urges Texans to get flu vaccines early. I mean, with should it be safe to be vaccinated during this pandemic? We'll tell you about that next. Still moving on with the education beat, substitute teacher shortage is possible during this pandemic. But CCS, the administrative staff, have a full roster of these. So if you're going to be a substitute teacher, you need to be. So for the substitute teachers that they're watching, in CCSD, you need to be prepared. If your name's on the list, you need to be prepared. If your teacher's out sick because of COVID or flu, you need to be prepared for this and have some stuff ready. But one substitute teacher says she's just sitting out of this. She says, right now, it's something that I want to do. She also says, I don't want to be responsible for anyone getting sick or myself, getting sick, bringing it home to my elderly parents and children. But she also says, my experience throughout the 10 years I've been subbing, there's always been a shortage of substitutes. So, think about it. If you're going to be dropping out, a substitute teacher, there's another option for you. Just try to play it cool. Alright. Finally tonight, flu season. It's the flu season here. Governor Greg Abbott urges Texas to get their flu vaccines early. Why? Absolutely. So when that month comes, you need to get your flu shots early as possible. If you don't, you could get the flu. And COVID, possibly. I'll be back in a moment. President Trump banning TikTok, and businesses not using it. Why is it happening? Plus, Walmart drive-in movie theaters. Is it a great idea for our day during this pandemic? Also, there's some help on the way for people who want to seek jobs. That's coming up on Friday. That's on Fridays. Give me a break. That's all for this edition. Give me a break Thursday going to Friday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Friday, our regular time here, 3:30, and our regular time here. For all of us here on YouTube, have a great night.